Okay, hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's an ish day. It's a little after 12:45, but we're gonna get into this Ask Me Anything hour really quick. We've got a few questions we're gonna try to get through, and I'm gonna try to go quickly and probably have to do some more on Thursday. But this month, we just came back from the Natural Foods Expo West out in Anaheim, where there are over 3,500 products that people are bringing to market or have had to market. And we were going out there with the intention to find the best of the best and make sure that we're answering questions. One of the reasons we do that is because we have so many people that send us pictures of products and ask us, is this okay? Is this something that we would do? Is it something we wouldn't do? And we definitely want to answer those questions, and I love doing it in this format so we can answer it for a lot of people. So a lot of you have questions about these. We're actually going to be going through several of these products every time we do a Facebook Live this month, so we can get through all of them. Then we're actually going to be putting them on our Instagram, the Strong on Health Box Instagram. And you're going to have the option to tell us whether you would like it, yes or no, based on whether or not, what we're saying about it. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of those today at the end. But I have some questions about testosterone therapy, blood pressure, vitamin D, bronchitis, and diverticulitis. So I've got a lot to get through. All right, first, I do want to mention this. So for those of you who are local to the DFW area, we do have these sprouted nuts. And what we're doing this month is so that people can be a little more aware of what we're doing here. If you do go on and like the Strong and Health box and the Instagram, right, and the Facebook and Instagram, and tag a friend, you can come in and we're going to actually give you these sprouted nuts. Last month we went over the importance of sprouting and why that's so good for you, and I want to keep that going so you guys can do that. But we're going to post a little note about it after this, so check that out. Okay, first question. Are there any long-term health risks associated with low testosterone? Mine's been under 300 for a while, but I have good energy, sex drive, etc. So great question, and this testosterone thing is kind of getting really confusing and really kind of muddy. And to say that below 300 is low is really difficult to say, because when you're getting your blood taken for the testosterone, you're just getting a snapshot. That could be changing all over the place. And in fact, we've talked a lot about how your body posture can be affecting your testosterone dramatically within just a couple of minutes. Amy Cuddy did a great TED Talk talking about how just in a high power position, standing like Superman or Peter Pan or Wonder Woman, versus a low power position where you're protecting yourself or covering your neck, can change the level of your testosterone, increasing it by 20%, I think is what it was, somewhere around there within 2 minutes, going up in a high power position and down. So you have this variance of almost 40% of what that could be. So for someone to being told that their testosterone's low when it's getting checked, I would not accept that necessarily as a 100% truth, and I would look at other ways to verify that. And especially if you're saying you're feeling fine, your energy's good, all of that, you may want to look at a saliva testing or other hormones to see what the balance of the hormones is, to really understand what your health concerns might be. But as far as long-term risks of that, I would question that data before I would start to get concerned about it. The other question is are there long-term health risks with TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy? So we went over this a couple of weeks ago in an Ask Me Anything hour, so I'm going to do a real quick point on this. The research showing about the testosterone is not the issue. The issue is that testosterone does not stay as testosterone, and they're not expressing that in the research. So they'll say, well, this is not a problem long-term to be giving just the testosterone being high, but the testosterone is being converted, and it's being converted to either estrogen or dihydrotestosterone. Either way, there are long-term effects of that excess conversion. So it's not necessarily about the testosterone, it's about what happens to it. And then yes, there are definite health risks to excesses amounts of estrogen. So for this person who's asking these questions, I would very much like to have a one-on-one discussion with you to give you some other resources so you can help yourself to that. But keep that in mind, guys. Just because it's going a little bit low when it's being tested does not mean that it's something that is always the situation. You could have been sitting in there stressing about work and sitting in a low power position before you went and got your blood taken, and obviously it's going to be a little bit lower because of that situation. So be careful of the long-term effects of that. What other negative effects of having high blood pressure for a long period of time can be caused? Well, we all know about the heart. And the heart is, of course, incredibly important because heart disease is the #1 killer in America. We have somebody having a heart attack every minute in this country. So we're always trying to encourage people to find ways to support their heart. But blood pressure isn't always just due to the heart. There can be a liver component, there can be a kidney component. So again, holistically is the important aspect of this, and understanding why the blood pressure is high is the key. If we're just forcing it low, we're never understanding what is getting it to go low, we're never correcting that, and what that problem is going to manifest somewhere else. So that's the important thing, is taking this information that you're getting from your body and doing something with it. Now, of course, the more weight you carry, the higher your blood pressure is going to go, because your body is trying to get the nutrients to all of the cells in the body so it can feed it. And if it's not getting there, that can be a problem. So yes, there can be tons of problems that can be associated with long-term high blood pressure, especially if you're not getting to the root cause. So that would be a number one thing that I would definitely be really helping people find and explore and look at all the reasons that could be going, and just making sure you're supporting your body in the way that it should be supported. Last question is, how long does it take for your vitamin D to increase if it's low? That's a really good question. Vitamin D is a very confusing topic right now. There's so many ways to look at it. One point I want to make sure that you start thinking about is a lot of times people are going in and just checking the 25 vitamin D, and there's a 125. And so these have a relationship. And just because the one is low doesn't mean that the other isn't high. So if you're really concerned about long-term, I would actually start looking at both of those levels just to make sure that it's not just one that's low. And it can take a couple of months, it can take a few months. Vitamin D is one of those things that will store up in your tissues if you're getting enough over a long period of time. Think about nature. Think about the fact that we would be getting a lot of it over the summertime, storing it up to be able to get us through the long winter when we're not getting a lot of sunlight exposure. But we'd also be getting it from things like cod liver oil. Okay, so we've got some ranch dressing addressed on Tuesday 2/26 in a food journal. And so what I'm looking at is, and I'm gonna call them out, it's Walden Farms. I don't like to make fun of bad product that I find. That's not my goal. My goal is to help people be steered towards the good ones. But when people bring me something and it's something that I wouldn't take, I'm gonna tell them I wouldn't take it. When I'm looking at these, the number one thing that I saw pop out right away that immediately says to me, I just don't need to put that in my body, is there's sucralose. So sucralose is being added to all of these. Just tell me why it has to be there. It doesn't need to be in there. And do a Google search on sucralose and all of the health risks that can be associated with that. It's unnatural. It's not something that your body needs, and so your body's going to have to deal with it. So that immediately causes me to dismiss this product, because I wouldn't trust a company that feels okay with putting that in their product, because they're not really thinking about your health. They're thinking about other aspects of taste and whatnot. So I would say no on this product. Oh yes, we did skip 2 questions, sorry. We had a question about diverticulitis, and I was actually really encouraged. I have been talking a lot about when people get concerned about eating nuts and seeds and saying, well, I can't because of diverticulitis. I did post an article a while back that was from Mayo Clinic talking about, actually that was never proven, but somehow everybody believed it. And I was really encouraged to see this from a GI doctor in the local area with a great point down here that says, people think they should avoid eating nuts or seeds if they have diverticulitis. Not so anymore. Go nuts if you like, just make sure you get your fiber. So really important to understand that sometimes we're laboring under false data that has just been somehow passed around, and you may hear it from a medical professional, but that doesn't mean it's true, and that doesn't mean it's actually been scientifically proven. So we still have to be examining this data and looking for ourselves. Finally, we had a question about bronchitis and flu. Okay, so we're talking about viruses. And from a holistic approach, you want to make sure that your immune system can handle it. So that's going to be your zinc, it's going to be your calcium, it's going to be your essential fatty acids. We talk a lot about those immunity things. But for someone specifically asking about that, there are some herbs that can be very helpful to get over that. And in fact, one of the best takeaways for me of going out to Expo West and really trying to examine all the products out there, I'm always looking for the best of the best. And I actually was sampling some of the herbs out there, because I would love to have a company that's local, that has a master herbalist at the helm who's helping us understand these herbs. But I have not come anywhere even in the neighborhood of anything as good as MediHerb. MediHerb is out of Australia. They regulate their herbs there. So this is a huge point. In fact, I wound up actually physically rejecting some of these herbs and had to spend some time getting rid of them because they were that bad. But I tried them for you, so you're welcome. You will never ever hear me tell you to take those. But actually, MediHerb makes 2 really great products. Bronch Effect, specifically to support those people who are trying to overcome something like bronchitis. And there's great herbs in here like licorice and echinacea and white horehound and thyme and ginger. But again, don't just go out and grab those herbs. As I learned very importantly last weekend, that you can't just grab herbs from anywhere. You must get them from the highest quality source, and MediHerb is by far the best source I've been able to find to date. There's also one that they make called Resco. Resco is going to give you, again, licorice, but a bunch of herbs that I can't even pronounce right now because I'm trying to go too fast. So there are a couple of great options if you're trying to help yourself support it from the nutrition aspect, but also get some herbs in there that are going to actually help to support your body's ability to get over that. Do we have a question live there? I see you guys jumping around and your eyes are darting. A comment?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it. What's the comment?
Dr. Kerber.
Oh, hey, Dr. Kerber, what's up?
She says, thanks for trying them for us.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Well, the good news is I did try some other things and found some fun things, and this was actually one that we did put on the Instagram for Strong and Health box. We got 100% yes on this, so this is actually going to be going in next month's Strong and Health box, and it's going to be focusing on helping people with inflammation. Not just getting rid of the inflammation, but resolving the inflammation, and also helping giving your body the nutrients it needs to heal why the actual inflammation is occurring in the first place. And a whole food vitamin C is one of those major things. And you're actually going to get some good vitamin C from these. And this just cherries, nothing else. I love the ingredients, dried cherry, simple, easy. This is a yes. And thank you for voting on that yes. We also found some, let's see here. Okay, so people are always looking for a good chocolate. And if you're going to eat chocolate and you're going to enjoy it, I would love for you to get some other nutritional benefits in there. So I would love to get your opinion on this. This is actually dark chocolate. There is cane sugar in there, warning. But there's also pumpkin seeds and quinoa. And so some really interesting ingredients, and this would be worth examining. I'd love to hear what you guys have thoughts on this, if you could go vote on that for me. Our friends at the Keeley Hunter have come out with some Keeley nut butters, and this one has pumpkin spice with lion's mane. So really interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether or not you'd be interested in that one. And we also found some hippie snacks. Now these are kind of cool because its number one ingredient is avocado, but also pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. And so there's all whole food ingredients in this, and it's a good option for people who need something snacky and salty and tasty and crunchy. And so is this the best you can do? No, but it's going to be better than most of the options that you're having out there. So this is going to be an option we're going to be offering to you guys. And finally, I know that this is something that not all of you get crazy about, but there's so many great sardines out there. And I'm going to talk about sardines because there are so many nutritional benefits to this. You're getting your essential fatty acids, you're getting your phosphorus, you're getting your potassium, you're getting all kinds of nutrients in this. And so think about it. I know that people turn their nose up immediately, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether or not you'd ever like to see one of these in a box again. Okay, I think that is all, except we have one more question. I have a friend who recently had to have her gallbladder out. Her doctor put her on a low-fat diet. How does one get their healthy fats? Great question, Kristen. Thank you so much for that question, and I owe you a response to an email. Thank you for your patience with me. First of all, could you guys, one of you grab that book for me? There's a great little book from Selene River Press, and we'll put a link to it below, about why gallbladder matters. And the important thing is understanding that if you had it removed, there's a portion of your body was having a hard time with the fat processing in the first place, and that's your liver. And so you need to support your liver with those nutrients. This book does a great job, very thin, very easy read, don't be overwhelmed. So this would be something I would definitely suggest anybody who has any gallbladder concerns or who has had their gallbladder removed. Then what you need to do is actually support your body's ability to create that bile. Keep that bile flowing nice and smooth so you can continue to utilize the fat. Because just because you don't have a gallbladder to help you be able to store the bile doesn't mean that your liver can't make the bile when you get it back to where it's supposed to be. And it definitely doesn't mean that your body does not need essential fatty acids. These are essential for life. You have to have fat. So one way or the other, you can't just cut it out of your life and expect yourself to be able to live a healthy, happy life for the rest of your life. Your brain is going to start to not be nourished as much. All of your cells, that phospholipid bilayer, it's around every cell. You have to have fats for everything. So just cutting fats out of your life is definitely not the answer. You have to find ways to support it. Now, some people will take bile salts, and bile salts can be helpful. I would definitely give you some suggestions possibly if that's the case. of places where I would find that. But most importantly, I would focus on supporting that liver, giving it those nutrients that are going to help keep your liver producing its own bile to be able to keep up with the fat ingestion. So, but first of all, check this book out. Second of all, if you have more questions on that, let us know, and we'll give you some more specifics on what I would do personally if for some reason I was knocked out cold and somebody stole my gallbladder. Okay? I believe that's all the questions we have, and I appreciate your patience. I had a lot to go through. We're going to keep going through some more products, but check out the Instagram, Strong and Health Box. We're going to put all these up there. We would love your votes, yes or no on those. And anybody who's local who can go on and do the tagging and whatever we're supposed to do, they'll be in the thing below. We've got some sprouted nuts here to give you as a thank you for helping us spread the word. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on Thursday.